After what I can only assume Ryan Reynolds thought was a triumphant appearance on Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary, he must not have loved seeing Colin Jost come back to Saturday Night Live last night with a joke at his wife Blake Lively's expense.
Blake Lively broke down on live TV after the SNL host tore into her in front of millions.
Zelensky was asked to leave the White House. Then he appeared on Fox News and said he thinks he can still salvage his relationship with President Trump, which is like Justin Baldoni saying, "I'd love to work with Blake again."
The moment was jaw-dropping, Lively in tears, as the host threw shade and mocked her personal drama. And the craziest part, this wasn't scripted.
Last night on Saturday Night Live, Colin Jost came back live and clearly made a joke at Blake Lively.
The Hollywood A-lister was humiliated, and the internet is losing it. What went down behind the scenes? Let's dive into this explosive moment.
Now you're poking fun at it. So now it's just a big joke? This whole thing's a joke? This is absolute cringeworthy, and they should be ashamed. Did they rewrite the SNL scripts too? Terrible humans.
How's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
They chose to make the butt of the joke on her, not on him. It got some laughs. A little uncomfortable from Anna Taylor, and then Kevin Costner just didn't react at all. Did Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively make their first public appearance at Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary? They made a joke about it all.
Zelensky was asked to leave the White House. Then he appeared on Fox News and said he thinks he can still salvage his relationship with President Trump, which is like Justin Baldoni saying, "I'd love to work with Blake again."
This shows SNL playing its cards of, yeah, they're clearly, they know Blake Lively is crazy. And given the appearance, she's gonna have this same reaction of, wait a second, why are you making fun of me? I thought you had our back, Sarah, live. What's going on? look at Colin's face. Because again, Colin is now married to Scarlett Johansson, who Ryan Reynolds allegedly, the rumors are, cheated on her with Blake Lively. Her playing, why? Is there something wrong? Yeah, clearly, guys, the joke didn't hit. To be perfectly honest and more honest, but it's nice to at least see them admit, yeah, no, Justin Baldoni's never working with Blake Lively again. And notice, this joke could have been the other way around. That's like Blake Lively saying, yeah, I want to work with Justin again. They chose to make the butt of the joke on her, not on him. She's never hosted. He's never hosted. He appeared once as a guest star, but the fact that they're there to me on this show of all shows felt very forced. In Deadpool Wolverine, you used Deadpool Wolverine to mock this guy in the film that your wife disagreed with and didn't get along with. It's so hard to process. There is no question that, yes, Ryan Reynolds based his Deadpool Wolverine character, Nice Pool, with the man bun, on Justin Baldoni.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have hired former CIA agents with a proven track record of lying to the public, gaslighting the public.
You're despicable and a massive hypocrite.
She was similarly rude, and I think that in her modern feminist mind, she thinks that when she's being rude, she's taking a stance for women, and she's not. And ironically, she's trying her hardest in that interview not to be a woman when she's asked that question, you can't ask me about pregnancy, you can't ask me about outfits.
You kind of had to being there, which makes me realize and think this was all orchestrated and planned. This was his WME and people getting in and giving Lauren Michaels and Saturday Night Live sort of the opportunity to get them there first, to sort of address it. Ryan used his Nice Pool character in Deadpool and Wolverine to mock Justin Baldoni.
It all started with a movie that everyone had their eyes on, It Ends With Us, a film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. Blake Lively was set to star as Lily Bloom, a character caught in a whirlwind romance that pulls her in every direction. On the other side, Justin Baldoni was not only playing Ryle Kincaid, the other lead, but also calling the shots as the director. This was meant to be the project of the year, the one that would make waves in Hollywood. But what nobody saw coming was the disastrous clash of egos that would unravel everything. On the surface, it seemed like the perfect pairing. Lively, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, and Baldoni, known for his charm and directorial ambitions. But behind closed doors, tensions were rising. Lively, who had been widely praised for her role in previous films, started to voice her concerns. It wasn't just the script. She didn't like the direction Baldoni was taking the film in. Word started to leak that there were major creative differences between the two, and these differences were becoming impossible to ignore. Then, things took a darker turn. Whispers from the set suggested that Lively wasn't the only one unhappy. There were claims of inappropriate behavior during production, specifically targeting Baldoni's actions. These reports were shocking, especially since Baldoni was known to be a hands-on director. Allegedly, Lively raised her concerns directly with Baldoni, but instead of addressing the issue, her complaints were dismissed. The tension between them reached a boiling point, and soon, the studio was under fire for allowing this type of behavior to happen unchecked. The situation was escalating quickly. Sources close to the set revealed that Lively felt isolated and unheard, leading to more heated exchanges. What started as creative disagreements quickly spiraled into something far more serious. The whispers became rumors, and soon those rumors turned into full-fledged allegations. The set of It Ends With Us had transformed into a war zone, and Blake Lively wasn't backing down. But here's where the real drama begins. Lively, fed up with the ongoing issues and the lack of action from the studio, took an unprecedented step. In early 2025, she filed a bombshell lawsuit against Baldoni, claiming sexual harassment on set. These were no minor accusations. Lively alleged that Baldoni not only harassed her, but also used his position as director to manipulate her performance and undermine her power on the film. According to her, Baldoni had created a toxic work environment, and when she tried to speak up, he retaliated by smearing her reputation in Hollywood. This lawsuit sent shockwaves through the industry. Fans were torn. Some rallied behind Lively, believing her allegations, while others began to question the timing of it all. Was this a genuine cry for help, or was it all part of a power struggle over the film's direction? Everyone wanted to know. Was Lively fighting for her career and dignity, or was this just an attempt to claim control over the project after realizing she wasn't getting her way? And that's when it got even messier. Justin Baldoni wasn't just going to sit back and let this slide. Weeks after Lively's lawsuit dropped, he came out swinging with a counter-lawsuit of his own, claiming that Lively's allegations were completely fabricated and that she had been plotting to destroy his career all along. Baldoni argued that the real reason behind Lively's accusations was her desire to push him out as director and gain more creative control over the project. He went further, accusing Lively of damaging his reputation in the industry, resulting in lost opportunities and deals. But the plot didn't stop there. Baldoni wasn't just fighting to defend himself. He demanded a massive $50 million in damages, stating that the damage done to his name was irreparable. Hollywood, however, wasn't taking sides quietly. As the legal battle raged on, celebrities started picking sides in what could only be described as a Hollywood war. Some openly supported Lively, while others stood behind Baldoni, leaving the industry divided, and the public more invested than ever in the drama. So how did we get from a movie set filled with tension to a courtroom drama of epic proportions? It's clear that this wasn't just about creative differences. It was about control, power, and survival in an unforgiving industry. And as we'll see, this was just the beginning. In early 2025, the situation took a shocking turn. Blake Lively didn't just speak out. She dropped a bombshell. She filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, accusing him of sexual harassment and retaliation. While the details of the harassment are sealed in court documents, Lively claims Baldoni used his director's power to manipulate her and ruin her career. But that's not all. Lively's lawsuit goes much deeper. She alleges that Baldoni didn't just abuse his power on set. He controlled her performance, cutting her influence over the film and undermining her at every turn. This wasn't just a director versus actress clash. This was about dominance in a Hollywood power play, and Hollywood was rocked. The accusations sent shockwaves through the industry, dividing the public like never before. Some fans rallied behind Lively, demanding justice, while others couldn't help but question, was this a genuine cry for help, or was Lively playing a calculated game of creative chess? The timing of her allegations left people wondering, was this really about what happened on set, or was this an attempt to take control of a project gone wrong? Hollywood is no stranger to power struggles, but this was personal. Fans couldn't pick a side fast enough, and neither could the industry. Would Lively emerge victorious, or would this all backfire? But Justin Baldoni wasn't about to let Lively's bombshell accusations go unchallenged. Just weeks after the lawsuit dropped, Baldoni came out swinging with his own defamation suit. His claim? Blake Lively made up the harassment allegations to ruin his career. Baldoni's version of the story was a bombshell in itself. He argued that Lively wasn't just complaining about on-set issues. She was trying to push him out of the director's chair. According to him, Lively wasn't happy with his vision for the film and was demanding more control. When she didn't get it, she fabricated the accusations to try and take him down. And the stakes? Baldoni was demanding a massive $50 million in damages for the damage to his reputation. But it gets even dirtier. Reports began to surface that Baldoni's career was already in serious trouble before the lawsuit even hit the press. His agency WME, cut ties with him just days before everything blew up, but sources close to the agency insisted that it had nothing to do with the lawsuit. Was Baldoni's career already on the decline, or was Lively's lawsuit the final straw? Meanwhile, Hollywood insiders were quietly picking sides. The legal battle wasn't just about a movie, it had become a full-blown Hollywood war. The drama didn't just involve Lively and Baldoni anymore. It was drawing in major players from across the industry, all with their own stakes in the fallout. As the courtroom showdown continued, the tension in Hollywood was palpable. Who would come out on top? Just when things couldn't get messier, Baldoni dropped a bombshell. He was coming for Ryan Reynolds too. In a shocking move, Baldoni expanded his lawsuit, accusing Reynolds of weaponizing his Hollywood power to destroy his career. Suddenly, this wasn't just a legal war between two co-stars. It was a high-stakes battle with one of the biggest names in the industry. Baldoni's claims were brutal. He alleged that Reynolds had been pulling strings behind the scenes, using his massive influence to ensure Baldoni's downfall. The accusations? Blackballing. Baldoni claimed Reynolds was pressuring Hollywood executives to shut him out of major projects. Legal manipulation. Allegedly, Reynolds was pushing Lively's legal team to go harder on Baldoni, turning a personal dispute into a full-scale legal war public humiliation. Baldoni even accused Reynolds of mocking him in public, making him a laughingstock in Hollywood and making the situation even worse. And here's where it gets even more explosive. Insiders say this wasn't the first time Reynolds and Baldoni clashed. According to sources, there had been serious tension between the two for years, mostly over creative control and power struggles in Hollywood. But now, the burning question was Reynolds really just defending his wife, or was he the one pulling all the strings behind the scenes? As the allegations piled up, public opinion split. Some believed Reynolds was simply standing by Lively, protecting her from a toxic director. But others started to question, was this really about justice, or was Reynolds using Lively's lawsuit as a tool to eliminate a rival? One thing was clear, this wasn't just a Hollywood scandal anymore. It was a war for power, reputation, and control, and no one was walking away unscathed. As the scandal exploded, Hollywood erupted with opinions. Celebrities, insiders, and industry veterans rushed to take sides. And suddenly, this wasn't just Lively versus Baldoni. It was a full-blown Hollywood civil war. First to break the silence, Brandon Sklenar, Lively's co-star. He didn't call out Baldoni by name, but his words were clear. This is tough but necessary. Speaking out against injustice is always the right thing. A cryptic statement? Maybe. But to many, it sounded like a direct shot at Baldoni. Then things got even wilder. Matthew Lawrence, best known for Boy Meets World, entered the conversation with shocking accusations. Not against Baldoni, but against Ryan Reynolds. According to Lawrence, Reynolds had a history of clashing with directors, implying that this wasn't the first time he'd tried to bulldoze his way through Hollywood. Was Reynolds really the mastermind behind Lively's attack on Baldoni? Had he been pulling strings to settle his own Hollywood grudges? The industry was splitting fast. Some stars rallied behind Lively, insisting she was bravely exposing abuse. Others sided with Baldoni, arguing he was a victim of Hollywood power plays. Meanwhile, whispers grew louder. Was this still about justice, or had it become a Hollywood chess match, with careers and reputations being sacrificed for power? One thing was certain, no one was safe. And as the battle lines hardened, one question loomed. Who else was about to get dragged into this mess? Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any messier, Ryan Reynolds threw gasoline on the fire, live on national television. It was the SNL 50th anniversary special, a night meant to celebrate comedy legends. But instead, Reynolds hijacked the moment to crack a joke about the most explosive lawsuit in Hollywood. The punchline? Not scripted. The reaction? Absolute chaos. The audience froze. Some laughed uncomfortably, others gasped. The producers? Completely blindsided. Within minutes, social media went into meltdown mode. Was Reynolds mocking Blake Lively, downplaying the seriousness of her claims? Or was this a direct shot at Baldoni, turning their legal war into a punchline? SNL officials rushed to do damage control, confirming that the joke was 100% Reynolds' idea. Not in the script, not approved, not planned. But that only made things worse. The backlash hit hard. Lively supporters called it disgusting, accusing Reynolds of turning trauma into entertainment. Others claimed it was proof that Reynolds saw himself as untouchable, using SNL as his personal playground. But then, Baldoni's camp fired back, insisting that Reynolds expose the truth, that this entire lawsuit was just a Hollywood power game. One thing was clear, Reynolds wasn't just in the fight, he was fully embracing the chaos. But had he just crossed a line he couldn't come back from? Then came the real bloodbath, the career-killing fallout that no one saw coming. Blake Lively made a cutthroat move. She completely erased Ryan Reynolds' gin brand, Aviation Gin, from her upcoming film, Another simple favor. The first movie shamelessly promoted it, but this time, gone, replaced, deleted. Coincidence? Not a chance. Hollywood insiders whispered, was this just business? Or had the cracks in... Lively and Reynolds' marriage started to show, but Baldoni's career took an even bigger hit. His agency, WME, dropped him like dead weight, although PR teams scrambled to claim it was unrelated to the lawsuit. No one believed it. Producers stopped returning his calls. Upcoming projects quietly disappeared. Studios no longer wanted his name attached. Meanwhile, the industry split into battle lines. Team Lively, A-list stars and taller Me Too advocates rallying. Behind her, Team Baldoni, a few directors and actors whispering support, but staying low-key, afraid of getting burned. As for Reynolds, his reputation was no longer bulletproof. The SNL scandal left a stain, and some execs began rethinking their partnerships with him. This wasn't just a lawsuit anymore. It was a war with real Hollywood casualties, and the question on everyone's mind, who would be the next to fall? The war isn't over, it's just getting started. The lawsuit is set to explode in court by March 2026, and until then, Hollywood is holding its breath. Blake Lively isn't backing down. Ryan Reynolds is still in her corner, doubling down on his support. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is on the offensive, desperate to clear his name before the trial completely wrecks his career. But here's the thing, this isn't just a lawsuit anymore. This is a full-blown power struggle shaking Hollywood to its core. Blake Lively's next move, the Hollywood reckoning? Sources say Lively is preparing to go all in. More witnesses, more evidence, more dirt. Insiders claim she's been quietly working with other actresses who allegedly had similar experiences with Baldoni, meaning this trial could get even uglier. Some are already calling this Hollywood's next big reckoning, a potential repeat of a Me Too level exposure. If Lively has more cards to play, this trial could change the industry forever. But if her case falls apart in court, her credibility is on the line. Justin Baldoni. The fight for survival Baldoni isn't just fighting in court, he's fighting for his entire future in Hollywood. His defamation suit is still active, and if he wins, he could walk away with millions. But if he loses, he'll be branded as guilty in the court of public opinion forever. And then there's the studio silence. While Baldoni still has some supporters, major networks and producers are reportedly distancing themselves until the trial is over. Deals are stalling. His name is radioactive. If Hollywood turns its back on him completely, his career is done. Ryan Reynolds, the unexpected wild card? And what about Ryan Reynolds? He's been a major player in this battle, and his involvement is raising more questions than answers. Is he just standing by his wife, or is he orchestrating something bigger, behind the scenes? Some sources claim that Reynolds has been making phone calls, leveraging Hollywood connections, and even pressuring industry players to take sides. If that's true, this isn't just a legal case anymore. It's a Hollywood coup. But Reynolds isn't untouchable. His joke on SNL already landed him in hot water, and some are wondering, is his career at risk too? Hollywood's biggest war. No clear winner as of now. Nobody is winning this battle. Studios, actors, and directors are choosing sides behind closed doors. Deals are falling apart. Reputations are crumbling. And as the trial date inches closer, the stakes couldn't be higher. So what happens next? Will Lively's case bring justice or backfire? Will Baldoni's career survive, or is this his final act? And is Reynolds really pulling the strings behind the scenes? One thing's for sure, this fight is far from over. Hollywood is at war, careers are on the line, and the truth, still buried under lawsuits and scandals. Did Blake Lively finally expose a hidden abuse of power, or is this just a brutal fight for control? Did Ryan Reynolds pull the strings behind the scenes, or is he just caught in the crossfire? And Justin Baldoni, is he the real victim, or is this his downfall playing out in real time? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. So what? Do you think? Who's really to blame? Sound off in the comments, because trust me, the Hollywood elite are watching. And if you want more of these jaw-dropping scandals before the headlines even break, hit that subscribe button and stay locked in. The next bombshell is just around the corner.